Right, I thought I'd just get the camera started and just do a little explanation of one of the cultivars that we've got going, which are in season right now. It's the Fuerte. It's known in South Africa as the butter avo, purely because of what it says. It's buttery, it's nice, it's creamy, it's consistent, and it's a decent size. There's over 1,000 cultivars of avos. Some of you may know that. But the Fuerte is a very popular one, and right now that's in season and currently what I'm marketing and selling. So they tend to sell quite easy. And of course I try to go a little bit cheaper than the shops because I find that the shops are a bit of a rip-off. And I think most of you would agree with me. So the problem with my Fuertes though, or with not my Fuertes, but just Fuertes in particular, which they're known as the divas of the avo world, they're very, very fussy. You get something called alternate bearing fruits and nuts and stuff like that. So what that means is that they'll skip a year. So like for instance this year I've got an abundance of the Fuerte avo, but what will happen is that next year I won't get any, or I'll get a very little amount of avo, very low yield. And so the key to trying to manipulate that is to try and get these off as soon as you can, which is why I'm pushing the marketing hard. But not so soon that they're not mature, because avos are going to get to maturity and then they're still very well on a tree for quite a few months. However, as soon as you pick them, the ripening process starts. And so sometimes you'll find people who steal avos, like I have thieves on my farm. They come and steal avos and they pick them too early and they'll go sell them down at a shop corner at a stupidly cheap price, which is sad to see because it's my product. Then they'll sell it, but they're not mature. And so what you'll tend to find is that the top of the avo over here, where the button is, sorry, I'm a smoker, it'll always be me, where the button is, they tend to rip that off and everything. But put that aside, that's more about a theft thing. What tends to happen is you get all of the top part of the neck over here tends to soften up. It starts to get very wrinkly, just because there's more water content in this than there is oil, and when you pick it before maturity, the avo loses that water, and so it's like a prune, it dehydrates itself, and that's one way to be able to tell if you buy an avos from shops or anywhere else, and if you see that wrinkling, you know that the avo hasn't been given a chance to reach maturity. So one of the ways I know my avos reach maturity is doing something called a dry matter test. I won't go into all the science of it, but once I've done my dry matter test and it reaches a certain percentage, Fuerte is normally around about 21%, then I know that these are mature. There's enough oil in this to give them that title, you know, the butter avo. So all avos obviously produce a certain amount of oil. Different cultivars have more, some have less. Some avos are a bit waterier and some avos are super oily. So it all depends on your cultivar. But for these, I try to aim for about 21%, which all my trees are. They're all sitting around about 20-21%. The ones that I haven't got to 21%, I'm leaving for a bit longer. It takes normally about a week to get an extra 0.5%, just to get it to that 20-21% mark. So I'm not in a rush, but I'm in a rush to sell them because, like I say, I need to pick them off as soon as they've got to maturity, and I need to sell them chop. Just so that I can start reducing the amount of energy that the trees having to put into holding the avos, and rather start focusing on producing new buds. You know, spring here in South Africa is around about September. Around about August, the avo trees start pushing out flowers. Now, if you've got fruit still left on the tree, there's a tug of war on the energy side of things. Flowers need a tremendous amount of energy. But if you still got avos on the tree, they're still taking up energy. So you really want to get these off. And Fuertes are very sensitive to that if there's avos on the tree, or there's vegetative growth, branches, leaves, that didn't do anything this year, get rid of them. You need to get rid of them. You need to reduce the energy leak into parts of the tree that aren't producing, fruits that need to come off, so that energy can then now be used for focusing on flowering. And in that way you can almost manipulate consecutive seasons out of the Fuerte. If you don't do that, then you are going to skip a season. You're going to have to wait, and then obviously it's every 2 years more or less that you will get to enjoy the Fuerte Avo. I'm trying to manipulate that so I can just get a consistent crop every year. I'd rather reduce my yield a little bit for the sake of having some avos every year, rather than a lot one year and then none the next year. So there is a little bit of science to it. I can go into more detail, but I don't want to fluff it up. I'm no scientist, I'm no horticulturist. I'm a newbie who has learned a lot of this through AI, and I absolutely love it. I'm also standing here next to one of my bigger avos over here. If you want to compare size, they're big, and so I got quite a few of these bad boys hanging about. They're not ready yet, they haven't reached maturity. I've done the dry matter test on them, and also I've picked a few sacrificial ones where I've kept them, you know, sitting at room temperature for 7 to 10 days, which is the window where you want them to soften, and they're not. They're softening at about day 12, day 13, so it's way off. So sometimes you've got to sacrifice. It's not as easy as some fruits where you can tell straight away that you need to, you know, they're ready to be taken off the trees. Avos are a lot more difficult. So, which means you need to do a bit of a sacrificial avo test. But, you know, once you've got that down to a T, then you know going forward, you know exactly when they're supposed to be, you know, picked off the tree. Thing is, this is my grandfather's farm, and so I don't know what cultivars he planted, so I've got the majority of it down to a T, but there are a few avo trees here that I don't know how to identify. Well, I know how to identify, but I'm battling to be certain, and I need certainty, and so the best way to go forward with this is, with those trees, is just every 2 weeks, maybe once a month, just pick one and just see how long it's taking to soften. And if it's in that 7 to 10 period, 7 to 10 day period, then you know that next year, watch out for that window. It's not precise science, and it should never work on a calendar, you know, specific date. It's just a window, a general area of when they're quite likely to mature. You know, you need to be looking at things like the buds, you know, just the health of the tree. Is it looking tired? Sometimes a tired tree, I've got a few here where I'm done, but you can see they're tired. The leaves and everything are just, you know, they've poured their soul into making these beautiful berries. So sometimes it's just looking at the signs that will give you, you know, your specific dates, but for the main part, you can at least drum it down to, you know, within a few weeks or so by just marking it down in a calendar month. Remember, there's so many factors at play here. You've got weather, you've got the temperatures, you've got rain, you've got, you know, is your soil healthy? Do you have hot spells, cold snaps? Things like that affect all of it. Anyway, but that's a little bit of education on the Fuerte. They're an amazing avo. A lot of people love it. I love it. I have my favorites, the irregular, which is coming next up in June, and I got thousands of those. But I am in a bit of a panic mode to try and get these off the tree so I can get a crop next year. So it all boils down to you guys. I need you guys to help me out so that we can have avos next year. Of the Fuerte. You will fall in love with the Fuerte. It's popular for that reason. It is buttery, creamy, very enjoyable avo. So if you want a crop next year, help me by getting these off the trees by buying. Okay, you can see me at the LKM market, the Lavender Country Market here up in Pretoria North, or if you're in the Rivonia or the northern suburbs of Joburg, I do have a WhatsApp community group where you can join. Just comment below just to let me know that you'd like to join, and I'll be in touch with you to send you that link so that you can enjoy the avos. They're organic. I farm organically and only organically. At least you know where you're getting it from. So Alouette Organic Farm, it's the only way to farm in my eyes, organically. The soils stay healthy, the trees stay happy, and the people stay fed. So yeah, that's the avo guy out. Cheers. Oh, before I forget, hold on, where are you? Hey sorts. Hello. And I couldn't do any of this without my wingman sorts. Hey big boy, say hi to the camera. He's always by my side and he's always helping. Where's Sortsina? Hey Sortsina, come say hello to the folks. There we go. And here she is. Sortsina, who's that? Hey, Want to say hi to the folks, hey? Good girl. Alright, I need to throw the ball. So yeah, this time, Avo guy out. Have a good one.